This week, stories from MMM Turkey, Republic of South Africa, and Nigeria feature in our events roundup. Our MMM Gives Back gives you another look back stories from our MMM East Africa community in Kenya. And Guider Emil San Juan gives us another important topic to ponder on his Just an Opinion segment. To all our viewers around the world, this is MNC, your Mavro News channel. Rize is the capital city of Rize province in the eastern part of the Black Sea region of Turkey and is home to about 110,000 people. This scenic city by the bay is the venue of our first story for the week that MMM Turkey online consultant and guider Emre Kuru organized last July 25, 2016.
Şu anda toplantı yapacağız burada bugün.
He started first by distributing flyers on some major streets of the city. He already gave an overview of MMM on the spot and at the same time invited them to come join him later that day for his detailed presentation about MMM. His efforts yielded 25 people in attendance, who were all eager to know more about how the MMM community functions. Out of the 25, about half of them decided to join MMM Turkey. Guider Emre was very satisfied with the overall success of his event and said that he would continue exerting efforts to make MMM known to more people in both the city and the province of Rize. From Turkey, we now move down south to the Republic of South Africa. On August 5 of this year, Guider Matsidisu organized an offline presentation at Budeving Hall in Shoshega, Gauteng. A male member of the team spoke first and introduced to about 15 guests how the MMM platform works and how they can benefit from it. Then Guider Matsidisu was introduced to talk about Bitcoin. She described Bitcoin as a moving bank that has global acceptance for a minimal transaction fee. She told them too that having a Bitcoin account is free and adding funds to it is also easy. She encouraged those who are new to the concept of cryptocurrency to study it further so they can see how easy and convenient to use it in MMM. The attendees were glad that they were introduced to Bitcoin and were more positive in using it to send donation instead of their local bank accounts. All MMM members will end up using a Bitcoin to provide help to each other to avoid all the challenges which MMM faces from the banks. That was one of the messages of Guider Cindy Shivi as she introduced the people from the Nashado Orange Farm in Gauteng about the advantages of using Bitcoin as currency to exchange donations in the MMM system. The event happened on August 6 of this year and she had about 16 people listening to her intently. She encouraged them to switch from usage of normal bank accounts to Bitcoin. One of the advantages she cited was that Bitcoin is quick and efficient to use since you can send and receive help from anyone at any time as long as you have balance in your wallet. She also added that it also charges low transaction fees and it saves them time because transactions are done online. Her guests were thankful because they now understand Bitcoin better and expressed more interest in using it. Some of them also decided to participate and registered on that day.
Viva MMM, viva! Viva! Viva Mavroti, viva! Viva! Amanda! PH!
This was a snippet of what happened during the offline presentation of Guiders Tony and Patricia at Secunda in Gauteng, which happened also on August 6th. Two speakers took turns during the event. They first discussed how the MMM donation exchange platform works and the benefits it gives to members. Next part was the introduction of Bitcoin usage and sending peer-to-peer donations in MMM. Although it was new to most of the 20 attendees, they patiently listened as both speakers explained in detail how the Bitcoin system works. The guests were introduced to the Bitcoin wallets, how to register for one, and how to load up their wallets after registration. To aid them in explaining the steps, a live account was used by both speakers. The attentive faces of the audience was a positive body language for guiders Tony and Patricia. For them, it is a good sign that they are successful in making their audience realize about the big advantages of using Bitcoin in MMM. From South Africa, we move a little up north to Nigeria, where our last 4 stories for this week happen all on a single day, September 9th of this year. One guider who was busy that day was MMM Nigeria guider Ajigon Emmanuel, who had an opportunity presentation at the Sweet Fast Food in Ava State. About 45 people came to listen to him talk about the MMM community. He had one participant share first about his experiences with MMM before discussing how the platform works. He reminded his audience that although there is money involved, it does not go to a central account because transfers of donation are all peer-to-peer. Guider Diegon also disclosed that MMM community is operating on the principle of crowdfunding and that any amount of spare money is honored in providing help to one another. He cautioned them, though, to only use their spare funds as there are also risks of losing them in the end.
No matter how much you want to put into MMM, if you don't understand the ideology, you would never be able to do well in the trade world.
This was Guider Ayodele Ayeni's message when he was talking about the MMM ideology to 8 guests who attended his offline opportunity presentation at MMC Lokoha in Koju State. Also on September 9th, he started with a discussion on how the community started and what made Sergey Mavrodi decide to establish it. He further explained the operation of MMM involving exchange of financial donation amongst participants. He also highlighted that since MMM is founded on the principles of gratuitousness, reciprocity, and benevolence, no one must feel forced to donate more than what their spare money can afford. He stressed too that their job in MMM does not end in sending and receiving donation because they must also contribute in its development by introducing new people into the system. While Guider Ayodele Ayeni was engaged in Lokoha, Guider JP Prinsley's own opportunity seminar was also in progress at the Wilters Hotel in Ughelli, Delta State, with about a dozen people listening to him. Guider JP cruised with ease as he discussed MMM's history down to its ideology. He was thorough in explaining too how the bonus system works, as he believes this is one of the reasons why most people join. But since MMM is a large global donation exchange community, he reminded them that beyond the monetary rewards they may get, there is an important ideology that they all must have helped advance. Another important topic he focused on were the rules on safe participation. Guider Diafe told his audience that following these rules would help ensure a smooth experience for them within the community. The presentation proper lasted for about half an hour, and the rest of the event was devoted to answering questions from his attendees. Our last story for this week's events roundup happened also on September 9th with the Rest Place Church in Port Harcourt, River State, Nigeria as venue. Guider Boma Favara was the organizer and he was able to draw a crowd of about 40 people. While others discussed MM's history in passing, he was very detailed about it and did not leave out even the negative facts like MM being closed by the Russian government and Sergey Mavrodi getting incarcerated. For him, this kind of transparency is necessary to build a trusting relationship between him and his possible downlines. Guider Boma did not mince words too when he discussed about the possibility of the system going into a pause mode. He told his guests that he is just making sure that they have the correct expectation about the MMM community. He also pointed out that if they want to have a pleasant experience in the community, then they should follow the rules on safe participation and temper their greed as well. His talk lasted for about an hour and a half, and more than 30 minutes of it was allocated to answering questions from the audience. Charity works is the embodiment of the spirit of giving in MMM, and we will see this in practice as we look back at 3 more stories from our MMM East Africa community. That clip is just one among many that shows the festive mood of the children at the Chinga Children's Home and Academy in Gitungiri, Kenya, when guider Michael Ogallo and his team visited last year, August 29th. The children's home is located northwest of Nairobi and has its own primary school, so children under their care can finish elementary school. They were warmly welcomed by the lady administrator, who also formally opened the occasion with a prayer. The children and the team joined together in singing and clapping as they sang song of praise. During the presentation proper, 6 members of the MMM team stood up and presented the different aspects of MMM. They put emphasis as well on the fact that though individuals get donation rewards in MMM, giving back the blessing, especially to people in need, is cultivated in the community. When the presentation ended, the team formally gave to the administrator and the children the sacks of grains and sugar, toiletries, and other grocery items. The kids were all delighted and thankful for the gifts that the MMM community gave them. The following month, on September 26, 2015, guider Michael Ogallo and his team shot 2 birds with 1 stone as they organized a charity presentation at the Hosanna Children's Home, also in Gitungiri, Kenya. This was their second visit to the orphanage. As we have featured in last week's MNC edition, they also visited the children's home on the previous month. The audience on their visit were mostly children, but this time it is a bigger crowd of adults coming from the communities nearby the shelter.
MMM is an online platform.
In order to make the event orderly, they divided it in 2 segments. First of which was the MMM presentation, while much of the discussion focused on the technical aspects of the MMM platform. Guider Michael and the other speakers emphasized several times that as a community of people helping people, MMM also encourages its members to extend the help to other people in need who are not participants. They reiterated that this is an excellent way for MMM to let both members and non-members know that MMM cares and that everyone can be helped by MMM to have a better life. Once the presentation was over, guider Michael and his team gathered in front of the stage and formally turned over the food items and toiletries they brought. The administrators of the orphanage expressed gratitude for the gifts and for the fact that were chosen again by the MMM community as recipients of those gifts. The attendees were happy too because aid from learning more about the intricacies of MMM, they also witnessed firsthand that MMM really walks the talk about giving.
Maybe just start by introducing you what Triple M is. Triple M is a new community in Kenya, and maybe you've not heard about Triple M as such.
That was how senior guider Michael Ogallo succinctly described MMM and its culture of giving at a charity presentation organized by his downline guider Sam Jonge. It was held last year, October 3, at Moi Children's Home in Nakuru, Kenya. The children's home adopts and nurtures abused, abandoned, and needy children from Nakuru and nearby areas. Senior guider Michael was the main speaker, and he was the one who introduced to the teachers and volunteers from the orphanage the advantages of participating in the MMM program. Aside from laying out the basis why Sergei Mavrodi founded the movement, he also stressed the reasons why we are currently living in an unfair financial system. After his presentation, the team interacted with the children and formally handed over the beddings and food stuff they brought. Their efforts were met with smiles and thanks from the children and administrators of the orphanage. The children's home also expressed their gratitude to the whole MMM community for extending to them the community spirit of generosity and kindness through guiders Michael and Sam and their team.
Hi everyone, it's another great week for us to enjoy. My name is Emil and welcome to Just My Opinion. Last week in our segment, we talked about moratorium and why it is being imposed in the MMM community. Today, we'll have a brand new topic again, and this will be a very special because it will be dedicated to MMM Nigeria. You heard it right. Our topic for today will be about MMM Nigeria. I decided to dedicate this segment for them because as of today, they are the hottest, they are the most popular among all the existing MMM community as of this date. Actually, in Nigeria, do you know that MMM surpassed Facebook in terms of popularity? Last week, MMMoffice.com, the official portal of MMM Nigeria, rose to become the 5th most visited website in Nigeria. This statistic is courtesy of the popular web ranking portal Alexa. According to Alexa, MMMoffice.com rose 40,385 places through the ranks, surpassing Jumia, Nairaland, and even Facebook. So, what are the messages behind the success? First of all, it only tells us that MMM really is getting more and more popular each day. Just like what I said in my previous videos, the number of people who learns about MMM ideology is growing exponentially through the word-of-mouth advertising. So, what's happening in MMM Nigeria right now didn't shock me anymore, because I guess I already expected it in the past since I saw the same success in different communities around the world. But what's special with MMM Nigeria is that although they are being threatened now by the government, it seems that they are only getting stronger each day. They did not panic, and instead they continue their activities to increase the number of registration and the rate of provide help, which is really amazing for me. Now, since this segment is dedicated for them, I would like to share my opinion on how they can make their community more strong or more stronger and unshakable. We all know that the government feels threatened when they see their constituents or their people starts to gain more power and prosperity. Why? Because when people are abundant and prosperous, the government has almost no control over them. The government has more controlling power over the poor compared to the rich. Do you agree? So, in the next few months or few weeks, it's very possible that the Nigerian government will make a move to destroy MMM Nigeria. Who knows? They might connive with the banks just to do it. It already happened in MMM South Africa before, when bank accounts of some participants were frozen because of participating with MMM. Then, what's the best thing to do right now to counter it? That's the biggest question our viewers have. What's the best thing to do for us to counter what's happening right now in Nigeria? The answer is simple. People need to study Bitcoin and probably start using it to avoid future problem with the banks. Because Bitcoin is decentralized cryptocurrency, no individual or group can stop its operation. Therefore, frozen bank account will no longer be an issue for participants. Another thing for MMM Nigeria is that they should never slow down their activities, especially right now that they are in the limelight. For me, It is the best time to do more and achieve more. A perfect time to build a huge team inside MMM, and a perfect time to spread its ideology. So, to all the MMM Nigeria participants, congratulations and keep up the good work. Continue to inspire other communities so that everyone will enjoy fair financial system in the future. That's it for this week. I will see you again next week. This is Emil, and always remember that everything that I said in this video is just my opinion. Have a great day and bye-bye.
That wraps up our last episode for this month. Join us again next week as we begin a new month and hear more stories of inspiration and giving from our different MMM communities around the world. I'm your host, Mark. Always remember, together we change the world.